Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Man's Noble Beer Reviews. Today I have something very special because it's not from a commercial brewery or even from a commercial meadery. This is from my buddy's home meadery, but I've always hoped, and I think several of my friends have always hoped that it will eventually become a legitimate meadery and not just something he does at home, because he's really talented in what he does, and I hope it becomes a legitimate thing. But so this mead is called, I'm not going to put the label up there because he has a bunch of the specifics of the fermentation and everything, so it'd be hard to read, but this mead is called Double Buckshot. It was, so he started brewing it in December 5th of 2015. It was bottled on June 11th, 2016. And so at this point, it's, just about two and a third years old. Obviously for me, that means nothing because it doesn't age really doesn't do much to me, because honey just is one of the most stable foods there is. So basically, if you take honey and then add alcohol, like, nothing's really going to happen with it. But it is it's basically a buckwheat mead. So it's made with buckwheat honey, and then it has pomegranate concentrate in it, which is interesting because I don't even know to this day if I really know what pomegranate tastes like. But anyways, I only have a little bit of this left, but mead in general, but especially this, a little bit goes a long way. So I wanted to do a proper review of it before I finish the bottle. And this is 14% ABV. Just throw that out there. Pour it. Give it a good review. So, and this is the bottom of the bottle, so that plays a part in it. But as you can see, it pours a murky brown color, which, with mead, it's really not. I don't know. I never really took appearance into much of a factor with any mead, but also is because it's the bottom, so I'm assuming there's a little bit more of that pomegranate extract or puree or whatever that he added in there. Obviously it's still it's not carbonated or anything, so that's what we have on the appearance. Whew. Sorry. With mead, I don't know, I really like taking really short pours like this, because there's so much that goes into the aroma with some of these that I like having a big, almost empty glass to capture all of the nose. So, I don't know if it's from the pomegranate or for something else, but there's a very strong, darker fruit component to this. To me, it's kind of like over-ripened red grapes is kind of what I'm getting out of it. It might even be like a plum character. But underneath it, there's a pretty distinct brown sugar note as well. I'll go back to a comment that I actually provided him recently when I had this. That it kind of, to me, it smells like if you took just a mound of brown sugar and just soaked it in port wine, because it does smell like it's going to be very sweet. And that's also where I'm getting the port wine character. If you took a big amount of brown sugar and just sorry, I'm just adjusting this, and soaked it in port wine. That's kind of what this smells like. There is an underlying honey component too, so I mean that changes it a little bit, based on the comparison I made with the port wine and the brown sugar. But I would say those are the two predominant flavors. But there's definitely some underlying honey aroma to it too. So it is very sweet. Given that it's mead, and in my opinion, I don't understand the point of dry mead. It's kind of a silly thing, but this is not that, and that's not the intention of this either. So when I say this is very sweet, it's not a detriment to the beverage. It just is what it is. That's the intention of it to begin with. So it is pretty similar to the aroma. I will say it's even a tad bit sweeter than I was even expecting from the aroma. That like grapey dark fruit quality is definitely the predominant flavor. The brown sugar is kind of like in the aftertaste, but it's still definitely there, and it adds a secondary layer of complexity, which I really appreciate. And there still is an underlying flavor of honey. You can tell that you're drinking mead. It's not like even though I say that it tastes like grapes or dark fruit, it doesn't. It's not. I don't feel like I'm drinking wine. It's still definitely more like mead than anything else. I wonder if the dark fruit flavor I'm getting has anything to do with the buckwheat honey, or if it's just somehow coming from the pomegranate. The only reason I say that is because I have had a buckwheat mead from Bee Nectar. It was one of their small batch series, and it had kind of like a brown sugar dark fruit taste. So I'm thinking maybe that's where that's coming from, and it's not necessarily the pomegranate juice. Not that it doesn't affect the quality or anything. I'm just curious where the flavor is coming from. But the buckwheat mead that the Bee Nectar did was fantastic, and this is kind of reminding me of that. But I think on my scale of buy, drink, dump, and this is being completely subjective. This is not because this guy's a friend of mine. This is really, really good mead. I know other people who have had it, but it's other people who are friends with them or know them through our Pittsburgh group. I wish I hadn't drunken most of this before I moved down here, or else I would have shared it with other people, but the amount I had was already small. But I know other people who have not had his mead would really, really appreciate it if you told them it was from a pretty legit meadery. I know people would absolutely believe it. He's even gotten some pretty good scores from the Mazer Cup, so he definitely knows what he's doing. And now that I think about it, I don't think that I've actually even brought up what the name of it is, but the name that he's making this mead under is Brew Chamber Mead. He has his own page on Facebook, so if you see this, look it up. He's always posting about new meads that he's making, and which are pretty interesting. He's very into it, which I appreciate, and he's doing some really great stuff. So again, this is definitely a buy for me. I say buy in quotations because I didn't buy this, but if it was available for retail, I absolutely would buy it. So that's a hint to you. And I look forward to doing some other reviews of his other stuff on here because it's all really good. So I think that's all I got in this one. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks.